Bonjour and welcome to Behind the Mic Live. Today, my special guest, she is a transformational leadership coach and an experienced global leader. Please give it up for Dasha Kosse. Am I saying it right?
That's absolutely right. Yes, you get this.
We were talking off camera about how people normally don't pronounce the E in your name because the French
French
don't
people.
pronounce the.
Yes. They were like, let's just call it Kos and that's it. And I was like, I didn't react, honestly. For like a first couple of weeks, I was like, that's not my family name. So I'm so sorry. That's not me.
So, who is Dasha?
Who is Dasha? Dasha has many different sides, I would say.
Okay.
Dasha is a transformational coach, transformational leadership coach for millennial women.
Hmm.
Dasha is a global learning and development manager for EMEA and APAC regions. Dasha is a happy person. Dasha is a good friend. Dasha is a naughty daughter. So, like, I do have many, many different sides of me.
So, how did you get interested in becoming a transformational leader?
That's a very good question, Gia. So, it wasn't easy for me to become a leader. And actually, I had a package of insecurities. I had it
Okay.
all, like, you name it. Inability to say no, good girl syndrome, fearing of looking stupid. Like, literally, I had it all. And, bless the powerful, beautiful women who gave me hands and helped me out to become a really confident leader, a really confident trainer. And, I got inspired by them. And I was like, wow, that is really cool. And, I was sitting and thinking, what if I can help other ladies, other women to
Hmm.
actually step into their first leadership positions without imposter syndrome, without good
Right.
girl syndrome, without, the fear to look stupid or the fear to say no to higher ups. What if it can actually be easier for other people?
Hmm. And how did this lead into starting your coaching practice and coaching people?
So for that, I have to thank my company because I reached
Okay.
out to my boss and I said, listen, I really am open for learning new things. I really want to, know the coaching practices. And so I completed my first level of coaching by ICF. It's ICF approved. ICF is International Coach Federation.
Okay.
It was an ACC level and I got addicted. It was really so cool. I was like, okay, I want to complete the second one. There are 3 levels overall. We have
Okay.
ACC, PCC, and MCC. So I completed the second one. And, one of the criterias for having this certification is to actually practice coaching.
Hmm.
So I have to still reach 500 hours
Okay.
to certify with the ICF for the PCC. So this is how I got started.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking about this off camera about what's great about coaching is that you can have a session with a client, like say on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, you can see them go on video on LinkedIn. Like one of our band members went on LinkedIn today, and I can see like it's such a great feeling that the knowledge that you have, and then be able to see like in real time. So I want to talk about your DAKO framework. Tell us more
Yes.
about this, and then we've got for everybody watching, we have a very special guest joining us.
Yes,
I,
of
I can't
course.
wait.
And actually, the special guest, and I'm special guest's producer, so we will definitely introduce the special guest.
Okay.
But before that, let's tell everyone about the DAKO framework.
Yes.
So I'm a very particular person. I am really digging into details when I'm doing something, right?
Hmm.
So I was sitting there. I was on my bed. It was really late at night. I was holding my pink notebook and I was designing the experience for the clients, for my coaches. And I was like,
Hmm.
what is one thing that will make it really special and really easy for them?
Okay.
Right. And this is when, and it just hit me. Honestly, it was like, okay, so what about it's this framework, DACO framework, is inspired by the ICF best practices, so International Coach Federation best practices.
Okay.
So D stands for dream. Dream
Dream.
without limits, zoom out, and really dream about the best version of your life. Yeah, whatever it takes, because sometimes we are getting lost in, this heaviness of people's opinions and people's expectations. And D is all about dreaming what's best for you, right?
Right.
What
Right.
really like the best version of yourself is craving. What do you think your mission is? What do you think you want to do in this life? So
Right.
that is D, and this is when we are basically zooming out and looking
Okay.
at ourselves, from a zoom out perspective. So
Okay.
the next one is actually action. Yeah,
Action.
action. So it's all about, okay, now we have the destination. Now we dreamt, we know that we think that our preferred destination, according to our wildest dreams, is this one. Action
Hmm.
is all about, step by step process. Okay, so what
Okay.
are the steps that I need
Hmm.
to take in order to actually reach this destination,
Right.
right?
Because having a dream is one thing, but you gotta take action. So you're gonna walk them through the steps to take.
Exactly. So it's it's
Yeah.
it's a roadmap, right? So we're
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
big, we're starting from zooming out, and then we're zooming in one
Yep.
step at a time.
Yep.
So that was our A. Our K is knowledge. We were talking
Mm.
about it off camera.
Yes.
So knowledge is your resource.
Yes.
Whatever knowledge you need, we need to determine whatever knowledge you need. Would it be I am enough? Or would it be some book that you want to read? Or would it
Hmm.
be anything else, any sort of information that you need to know in order
Hmm.
to accomplish your goal? That would be it.
Right.
Right, so knowledge is basically your shoes. Your walking actions are your
Oh,
steps.
oh, I like that.
Knowledge
Repeat.
is your shoes,
I love that. Okay. Yes.
right?
Continue. Yes. Yes.
And then last we have our outcome. So this is when we reached our destination. We can touch our destination, we can hug our destination.
Hmm.
We'll say hello goal, I finally reached you.
Okay.
We're celebrating. We're saying, okay, this is brilliant, I made it, I reached this goal. How do I feel? What do I want to celebrate about myself? What do I want to
Hmm.
celebrate about people who helped me to get there? Right?
Right.
How I can actually apply this knowledge to other scenarios of my life. Because we're reusing the knowledge, right? We're
Right.
reusing this
We're
capacity,
always learning. We're
reusing
always learning.
exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are reusing this courage. Okay, I dared to do that one time, so I want to dare again and again and again.
What is it that you think that holds most of us, especially as coaches, what is it that holds us back from taking action? We can have, like, okay, and I ran into this all the time in the music industry. There's artists that could rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, but until they went out and presented their songs to the audience, you could be the best garage band anybody's never heard of. And it's the
Exactly.
same thing with coaching. You have this great plan. What is it that takes you from, okay, you got this great, you dream, you have this idea of what you want to do. What is that first step of taking action? How does that translate?
So let me split it and first answer the question: what is the thing that prevents you from actually going out of there?
Okay.
It's usually fear, right?
Yeah.
Fear of being judged, fear of other people's opinions, fear that you will actually fail, which
Yeah.
is, I don't believe in failure. It's just hypothesis. You can test the
Right.
hypothesis, it will prove that it's not working, and then you can test another hypothesis and another one and another one.
Right. Right.
And so, the thing that we need to entertain. We need to
Mhm.
entertain the idea that we got this. And how will it look when we actually, overcome this fear and how we will
Mhm.
feel? Because usually, it's all about, I don't know, 15 seconds of courage. It's really
We
15 seconds of
we
courage and then it will flow, and
Yep.
it's not like, it's going to be the pressure will stay for days and years. No, it's usually this tiny moment, right,
Right.
that will pivots everything.
And a lot of that fear is in our mind. It's
Oh,
not
everything
even
is in our mind. Yes,
yeah. So talking
it's all there.
about how do we, take care of overcome fear and overcome imposter syndrome? I know you are a producer and you have a special
Yes.
guest. Who is the special guest? I'd love to meet this
All right. Do we have
person.
music, like some intro music
I
for
don't
the
know.
very special guest, which is Mr. Popcorn?
Mr. Popcorn. So yes,
He's my
tell us about.
support goose.
Okay,
Okay,
support
now I
Goose.
need to
This
park
is
him
good.
back.
This is really good. Tell us more. This is really good. I want to know more about this.
So do you want to know more about popcorn, or you want to know more about imposter syndrome?
Well, I
choose
think what
choose your preference.
because you said he's your support goose.
He is my support goose. Sometimes it's like, so what I want to begin with, my archetypes, everyone, we have three dominant archetypes. So my
Okay,
three dominant archetypes, I am the emperor, number one.
Emperor.
Number two, I am a parent, like Mother Teresa. And number
Okay.
three, I am a child. So sometimes
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
all about, having fun and doing like really things that a kid would do. So,
Okay.
like, I was walking on the street and I saw this huge, amazing goose. And then my eyes went big and I was
Like a
like,
kid. Like
I want him.
okay.
I really want him. And so I went in the store and I bought him. And, like, I was the happiest ever person. And I was like, okay. So sometimes when I feel sad, he's, laying by my side. And I'm like, okay, I got this. So
I think this is
I
brilliant.
have an
Yeah.
I have an amazing network, yeah. I have
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
people, but sometimes when I'm all alone, he's my talisman.
Nice, nice. Well, I mean, growing up as a kid, we all had. I mean, I remember I had this teddy bear that. I mean, the stuffing came out of it. My mom sewed it like 10 times. I mean,
I
the,
know,
the
right?
eyeballs came off the thing. It just looked horrible nowadays. But that was the emotional support. I think it's important to. It takes a lot of confidence to be able to share that. But I think that's really important. People understand that you don't have to be alone.
No,
You can
you
have the
don't have.
support of your coach and of your network and everything, or you can even have a emotional support animal. I mean, like we have cats and dogs, right? How is that
Absolutely.
any different than popcorn? You don't have to feed
Absolutely.
popcorn,
You can have rituals. Hey, if, for
right?
example, you're about to start a meeting, I do have this ritual.
Okay,
I put my fingers together. So no one
okay,
can see it, but I know once I put my index finger and my thumb together, I'm
very powerful.
actually switching into my power,
Yes,
Dasha.
yes,
So I allow myself to be different. I allow myself to be a kid, an emperor, a parent, a
yes.
manager, a trainer, a coach. We have different sides of us.
Yes, I love that. Do that with the fingers because, like, as artists working with these rock stars, they all had a moment backstage of where they flip a switch, and whatever they're dealing with in their personal life, whatever it just switches off, and they get into what we call show mode, and they are in that show mode until they're off stage, until
Exactly.
they're away from the fans and everything, and then they flip the switch, literally back,
Yeah.
and it's not a personality. It's literally just you're the
It's
same
the
personality,
mindset.
but it just so I think that being able to incorporate that as a coach, as when not just when you're going on public speaking, but say that you are having a one-on-one with a client and you're not having a good day. You're just things happen. Not having a
Exactly.
good day. Talk about how do you overcome? Like, what are some tips for leaders to overcome this imposter syndrome that they have even before they go to meet with a client?
So for the imposter syndrome, there are many ways, right? And
Okay.
everyone has to choose their preferred one.
Mhm.
For me, I would say the first one is self compassion
Okay.
and really facing that emotion, right? So if
Mhm.
you're having a bad day or someone didn't do right by you,
Right.
acknowledge it.
Right.
Acknowledge, say it. I'm really pissed. I'm really angry. I really don't feel well. And it's okay to be like this. It's
Mhm.
okay. We don't have to all the time be happy, right? And
Right.
when people are saying, don't be sad, don't be pissed, no,
Right.
let it
Right.
out, and then once you acknowledge it and once you let it out, this is where the change will begin.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, I would say be your best, biggest fan and your biggest supporter,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Having a support network is amazing, is precious, is really
Mm-hmm.
cool. But sometimes you're one on one with your fears, with yourself, with
Mm-hmm.
everything. So, this positive self talk really helps, right?
Yes.
Even if you make so-called mistakes that don't exist, right?
Right.
You're like, okay, we got it, let's go, one baby step at a time. Okay, we tested the hypothesis, it didn't work, let's make step back, let's turn
Right.
around a little bit and go.
Right. Because if
That's
if
all
you
about
take
it.
that approach that everything is a learning experience, then you really can't fail at anything or
No,
have
there is no
that
failure.
imposter syndrome. There's no, because it's learning. And when you go into a coaching session with a client, you're going to learn as much more about them, but also about
Always.
yourself. So it's a 50-50 relationship. You're
It's
given
partnership.
a
Always.
partnership. Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah,
So
all
yeah.
the time.
So talking about working with different clients, what are like 3 qualities that you look for when you're working with your ideal, like you're speaking right now to your ideal client.
Hmm.
Who is she and what are the qualities of who you want to work with?
Oh, so actually, my ideal client is me 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
Is
Perfect. Yes. 3 years.
it
Perfect. Yes.
is a woman who is like early in her leadership career,
Okay.
and who realizes that she needs help.
Yes.
She feels lonely, she has lots of fears, she knows she has a big potential, but something is holding her back, right?
Right.
But she's ready to work, she is ready to be vulnerable. She
Right.
understands that it will take, some time to see the changes, because this is how all of the changes are happening. Like, no good changes are happening overnight. Even no, you know what, some good changes are actually happening overnight, but for some other changes, it's a process, right? It will take time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and being ready to, self reflect and understand that it's all about you. You only have yourself, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
like, you can only save yourself.
Mhm.
Sometimes, like, it might sound sad actually a little bit, but it's only you who can save yourself. No one else will. And if
Right.
you will realize this and you will be like, okay, so I need to work it out step by step. I do have support, I have everything I need. Like, one step at a time, we will get there.
Yes. Yes, like you were saying with the shoes before, like
Exactly.
taking the action, but then having, the knowledge as being like the shoes,
And having
gaining,
patience.
yeah,
Yeah,
patience.
absolutely. Because gee, sometimes it's like, 5 steps forward and then 15 steps backwards. And then 8 steps forward and then 2 backwards and then 25 forward and then 45 backwards. It's an exploration. It's not linear.
This exactly, you nailed it, Dasha, because this is what I saw firsthand in the music industry. The artists, when they're starting out, would not understand the importance, because we would talk to them before the show and be like, okay, there's only, and I have so many road stories I can share in other shows, but there's 20 people in the crowd. Well, your job is to go out and present your show like it's 10,000 in the crowd. Your job is to put on the best show and not worry about how many people are in the show. And we would have this back and forth, and they're like, yeah, but why does it matter? And it's like, because those 20 people that feel like you're treating them like it's a crowd of 10,000 are going to tell 20 people, are going to tell 20 people. And plus, this is what it really means. Like when we got into the world of TV is a whole other animal. You're performing to a couple cameras and some people standing around. There's no audience or anything. You have to be able to flip that switch and turn it on. So I think it's
Absolutely.
important. Like, I know I'm always talking music stuff, but it's like to have that where, you're like, there's a reason why you're moving forward. And sometimes going forward, it may feel like at the time you're going backwards. But when you, like you said, when you look out at it from a different perspective, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road, you realize that that's when you made that change, you
Exactly. It's
know?
a journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we were talking off, we had more of an interview off camera. We were just rapping about all this stuff. You brought out the stuffed animal and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. This is awesome.
You're
So
welcome.
yes, popcorn. His
Because
first.
he's white and yellow, and I was like, okay, so how will I name this gigantic goose? And then it's like, popcorn.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Dasha, how can people work with you? How can they sign up? How can they work with you?
That's a good question. I do have limited availability right now, but I
Mhm.
actually have my calendar available for the discovery call
Okay.
on my LinkedIn profile.
Okay. So connect with her on LinkedIn, set up a discovery call. This is how we connected through LinkedIn. And we had one of those discovery calls, or I call it a coffee and chat over Zoom. And we just clicked, and it was just like, look, I'm going to have a show. I want to have you on as a guest on the show. And one of my signature questions I ask all my guests, and I want to know is, Dasha, who is your favorite rock star?
I actually have a band, and it's Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And my
Okay.
favorite song is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Okay.
And my
So,
favorite movie is Armageddon.
yes. So why
It's a
Aerosmith?
package.
Why Aerosmith?
Oh, that's a good question. I was a kid. I was 8 years old when I was laying in my bed and I was watching TV, and then it was Armageddon. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a cool movie. And I fell in love with the movie. And
Right.
then, I fell in love automatically with the soundtrack to this movie. And this is how, like, for so many years, they are just keeping on being my favorite band.
Yeah, and that's we talk about this with the training and stuff. Having your signature sound. There's something that Steven Tyler has a vocal that just
Oh,
nobody
yes.
else sounds like. There's no one that can even come close to that level of
And style and appearance, like,
style appearance.
everything. He
Yes,
just
everything.
rocks, yeah.
Yes.
That's why I
Well, we
like him.
talk about that creating your signature sound, creating your signature style, creating something that makes you stand out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everyone is different and unique, right? And it's like, it's the matter of just finding it and then rocking it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you to Popcorn. I think I want to see some videos of you on LinkedIn introducing people to popcorn. That's what I'd love to see.
I'll think
Not
about that, Jay.
ventriloquist, not ventriloquist. Just like, hey, I want to
No
introduce.
pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. Just if you like. But I think that's brilliant to have. I mean, God, so much great advice, and you're well on your way of your coaching journey, and you're just doing so much. And we've got, your friend Clara is here in the comments. I had her on as a guest. Leslie's in the comments. There's other people watching, but I can't see who's watching on StreamYard. I can only see comments. But so thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, get in touch with Dasha. Work with her. Take that call and at least really get to know, like, get this direction of what, get in that right path of, and using the DAKO system. So thank you again for being on the
Thanks
show.
for having me, Jay.
Until next time, we'll
All
see you.
right. Until next time. Bye bye.
Okay. Ciao. All right.
Ciao.
See ya.